Well, hello there. So I made this huge machine to manage my water and water my crops. I know there exist better ways to water your crops in this game, but nevertheless I decided to use this huge contraption on on this situation. And there is my assistant actually. We are going to show you how this machine works. So, we have several water detectors. One here, uh, another one just symmetric to the middle point there. There is another water sensor there. Let me lower the zoom. Another water sensor there, and two more down there. Let's name these segments or compartments. I name this segment the siphon. These two places shall be named the pipes. That place I will name it the tunnel, and down here these are the pools. So the pipe is connected actually to a bigger pipe, which we talk about that later in the video. But let me show you how these sensors interact with the gates. We have two gates here, two gates there, several gates to water our crops, as you can see above each farmland, and there is another gate there for the tunnel, between the siphon and the tunnel. So we shall begin by pouring some water from my assistants. Please start the watering. Now we are going to water the siphon area. As you can see, it will stop water occasionally to make sure this place has enough water, and if it detects the water level in the pool is low enough, it will start to water our crops. As you can see, there is still some water. Oh yeah, here we go, it watered. So let's analyze other possible combinations of this system. Now we are going to try a situation where the siphon detects that it is currently full. So we need to empty the water in this place in other directions. Yeah, do that. We don't want the water to be higher than this level because it will ruin our main structure. So we open the tunnel gate and the water will escape through there. It's enough, I guess. And as you can see, the water will escape through the tunnels in some landscape over there. Doesn't matter. But where's the water down here is going actually? Okay, so to get to that, we first need to review the history of this farm and how this farm got to the form that it is today now. As I mentioned, there are better ways to water your crops in this game, and I'm actually trying to go through our history of what we've done and how we got there. So we just go left. This is a little bit modern. We will get to that, don't worry. And we go more left. So this is the first farm we've built on this world. As you can see, it doesn't have a very good form. It's more function, but the function is missing too actually. It's using the automatic system we discussed earlier in this video to water our crops. It's working, I mean it's good, and there is some pipes to dispense the water if the water level is too high on higher levels, but it's not very cool actually. It doesn't look very great. It's not leveraging the game mechanics as we want to. So we get to the second type of farm we built. If I come here, we can see there are some more modern farms, if I shall put it this way. These farms leverage the game mechanic raining in this game. As you can see, there are no more automatic watering systems. just rain, and the rain wets the farmlands, and the crops grow. Easy. Sweet corn. Great. And it's good. It works. But, and it's beautiful. More beautiful. But we wanted more. And actually we wanted to water the sea plants. So we built this place. And this place contains a reservoir for water. As you can see here, the reservoir is empty currently, but we can fill it. Yeah, as you can. The reservoir actually fills with water itself, not water from this place. We will get to that, how this reservoir can actually get full. Yeah, it's currently not getting full. We will get to that. Don't worry. And we had some crops here earlier in the game, and some crops over here. Yep. And the watching tower for our plants and crops under the water there. So, where is this pipe going? Yeah, this is the same pipe we've seen that way or there. Now we are in it. This is a water reservoir, as I've mentioned. When the siphon gets full, the pipe gates get open, and hence the water can rise to the levels beyond what is achievable by just filling the water over there. So the water levels actually get up to near here, and then when we have no rain, there is a drought season or something, this water can be leveraged like a reservoir, because the water just gets to the same height that is over there, despite it's looking that it's going up, but it's not going up actually. It's just the shape of the container that the water is in it. So the water goes up there just because there is water in the reservoir, and the level of the water in the reservoir is higher than the water in our farm. And let me actually eat some food. And when the water reaches over there, which is not currently visible on my screen, it will start to occasionally water the crops, and the crops grow, and it's good. But how can we actually get to this position, and how the rainwater is collected to even get to this place? How do we collect the rainwater? As you may have seen earlier in my video, there is a big tower on top of the siphon. This tower is designed in such a way that the water that's colliding with it in any direction, by any direction I mean from the above, from left to right or right to left, it will collect the water in its center and siphon it in its below. And let me show you. There is currently no raining happening, but nevertheless I can show you how it would have worked if there was any rain. So, as you can see, there are very interesting shapes here. Yeah, some of them are only for the form and design, but they have a little bit of function to do as well. As you can see, if the rain comes from right to left, the rain will accumulate right here. The rain will try to dispense through this place. It will go down here, go to the center for each floor, of course, and then it will be collected through our system here. When the level of 3 is below of that gate, the rain of the siphon will goes into there. And because the levels of this place is higher, it has more height than the reservoir, the water here empties to the reservoir. And the water maximally can get to this height as well. This line is where the reservoir height is, the maximum water that the reservoir can handle. After that, we detect that the reservoir is full, the siphon is full, the pipes are full, and we should dispense the water through here because we don't need more water. We just need to protect this place and hence dispensing the water through that tunnel. Don't talk about that lady is stuck there. Yeah, but how do we get to design such circuits? How how is this possible? It's not actually a very complicated circuit. Did all the crops survive? I hope so. Yeah, they survived. Yeah, it's good. It's working. How do we get to this place? How do we design such thing? The first thing I want to mention, the first thing you need to know to proceed to designing such circuits, in my opinion, it's just an opinion, is to know how to design an automata or deterministic finite automata or finite state machines, something like that, which I need to show you right here. I will explain what this thing means. But you have some sensors in here. One sensor here, another one there, there, and one for pull. So, okay, we have 4 different compartments. Each has a sensor, and there is an input from that sensor. And we have 3 gates, as I mentioned. 3 gates for different compartments. One for tunnel, one for pipes, one for farm area, farmland thingies. Yeah. So, this can be either on or off. That can be on or off, on or off, on or off. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It's 16 possible scenarios that we need to analyze. Well, you can of course say, what if I decide that my alphabet is only A, B, C, and D? We don't want to consider all 16 possibilities because just consider that 3 gates, which are our outputs, the range of our function. If there is a function that gets 4 inputs, 4 ones or zeros, 16 total possible scenarios, and we have 2 to the power of 3 outcomes, 8 possible outcomes. So if we have a function that maps or points each scenario to a possible case, there are many possibilities. If you are going to design such an automata, 000 means all gates closed. 100 means the gates on the part 1 are open, others are closed. 001 means 2 first gates are closed, 1 is open, and so on and so on. This means all open, this means... There are many possible outcomes. We have, for this little dude here, we have 16 alphabets that we can use. The possibility of this on, that one, everything on, one possibility. The 3 first sensors on, last one off, one possibility, and go on. It's 16 possible scenarios. How do you manage all that scenarios? It's too many scenarios to analyze. So, first of all, we separate the conditions that we don't want to ever happen. First of all, we don't want all the gates to be open simultaneously, because if this is the case, because the water level over here is, you can have more water in it, is higher than the reservoir actually, and the water level there is lower than the water reservoir. If this gate is open, and that is open, and that is open, everything is open, then the water just escapes through there. The water of the reservoir gets emptied through this line that I'm drawing. It's no use. Similarly, we don't want to the water for the pipes and the tunnel be open simultaneously. So we just separate these conditions and say we don't want anything to link to these conditions. We don't want them. So here goes 2 scenarios that we need to analyze. Now we need to analyze 16 to the power of 5 more scenarios to analyze. So here's the thing. There are multiple kind of NFAs and DFAs, deterministic finite automata or non-deterministic finite automata, that we can analyze, but this is actually a very simple one. Why it's a very simple one? Because there is a default scenario, which means there is a scenario for many inputs is a default one. And there is also an advantage of this design that if you see this, from each possible scenario of gates, if we get the symbols on the default scenario, we will just end up here. So if we determine the favorite state of each outcome, I mean 0, 0, 1 favors these inputs. For each other condition that we are in, we end up here if we see these alphabets. This alphabet A means everything is full. From every of these sensors we are getting a 1 signal, and so on. B means 1, 1, 1, 0. C means go on and go on. It's just that it repeats. So this state, this outcome favors these inputs. So for every possible scenario, we end up there if we see these inputs. So it's quite easy. Here is go four more of our alphabets. Here goes 6 more of our alphabets. Now, if we just do this for 2 scenarios, we now only need to approximately analyze 50 more scenarios, which is very good. It's now very more efficient. And as I've mentioned, it's a very simple finite state machine because the state doesn't matter for the next scenario. What I mean is if you start from 0, 0, 0, every gate is closed. You get an N, you end up here. And then if you get an A, meaning every water sensor is detecting water, you end up here. But if you get A from here, you again end up there. If you get B then A, you again end up here. So the previous state of the machine is not very important. The only thing important for the machine to go to the next step is current alphabet that it gets. So we treat each case as an alphabet. Then rises a question, why don't we consider only 1 and 0 as an alphabet? What can go wrong? Okay, let me show you what can go wrong if you just consider 1 and 0 as an alphabet. So let's analyze just for opening some door. We don't want to overcomplicate things. So consider we want to actually, let me just change the label. We want the machine ends in a scenario where our alphabet is 0, 1, 0. Okay, so we start, this is our initial state. We start by nothing, then we get 0, then we get 1, then we get 0. Okay, it's good. But you see, we needed to traverse 3 different states to end up right here. But if we had 8 alphabets, each corresponding to one singular possibility, then we just needed to design fewer states. You see, we just need to get, let's just say C. Of course, it's 0, 0, 1, then 0, 1, 0, it's B, yeah. So it's less states, it's easier to design, and it's easier to compile this into a logical gate. As you see, in game, we don't have automata, we have logical gates. How do we compile this into a logical gate? Okay, one more advantage of designing an automata is to design flip-flops. Just consider the flip-flop is a logical circuit component that will, let me just rename this It's like a simple button or lever, if you might. It can store one bit of information. Uh, in flip-flops, when you receive one, you go to state one. If you receive one again, you come back. You see, and if you receive nothing, it just stays. You may not know the final circuit result of this automata, but if you know how to write this automata, you can derive to the logical circuit of this automata. But okay, how can we get... Oh no, I'm hungry. Oh, thank you, my assistants. How can we achieve the logical circuit for such automata? There are multiple methods. The one that I'm comfortable with, and I think it's a good method, is Carnot table and Quinn-McCluskey's algorithm for that table to derive at a logical circuit for this. Okay, it sounds complicated, but trust me, it's very easy. How do we do that? So we just open PowerPoint. As I've mentioned, we have... Okay, I forgot to write what each thing is. Let me just write it here. The upper row, I mean this, corresponds to bits 1, 2, and 3. Let's just say these 3. I guess B, C, D. I will get to where is A. And then we have a state 1, a state 2, a state. Each of these S's, S1, S2, S3, this just is corresponding to actually one of the ones or zeros in here. 0, 0, 1 means S1 is 0, S0 is 0, S1 is 0, S2 is 1. Okay. And BCD, meaning the signal from... Where is my game? Okay. The signal the signal from, if we just name them, signal number 1, signal number 2, 3, 4. The BCD means, for example, this one and this one and this one. What are their conditions? So, forget about that. That's not important for now. PowerPoint. Okay. So, we are in a state 0, 0, 0. Here, a state 0, 0, 0. For B, C, and D, the water sensors B, C, and D, we get 0, 0, 0, and A for the upper table is 0, for the lower table is 1. Okay, so based on the DFA we designed here, we can very confidently derive to this table, how this table is made. We are in a state 0, 0, 0. Okay, a state 0, 0, 0. We get the inputs, let's say, C. Okay, what is C? Let me check my table. 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay, for 1, 1, 0, 1, we need to be first. This needs to be here. 1. So we are in the lower table. 1. So for B, we need to get to 1 here or there. I mentioned the... So we need to get C here, actually, I guess. So we get to the state. Okay, 1, 1. There is 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. The first one is that, so we... Oh yeah, there. Sorry, it take me too long to find it. A is 1, then we follow it by 1, 0, 1, and the state 0, 0, 0 we get here. A state 0, 1, 0, which you can see it's here. It's quite simple to fill this table. And as you can as you can see, for all the column here, we are all the column in A1. I mean this column. We are repeating the same thing. Why are we repeating the same thing? Because as I've mentioned, it doesn't matter what the previous state was. From each state, each state, you will just transition to 0, 1, 0. So here is the easy part. You see how this simplifies things. For each state, we just direct to the same final state based on the alphabet. If the states were important, like in the flip-flop scenario, you see the state in this case is important. If we are in 0 and we receive 1, we are going to 1. If we are in 1 and we receive 1, we are going to 0. So it matters in some cases, but in this case and this automata, it doesn't matter. Despite its complicated look, it doesn't matter what is the previous state, and it's a very good thing. So we write these things down, and we have, I will delete this now. We have one for when the third gate opens, we have one for when the second gate opens, and we have one for when the first gates open. I hope you know how the Quinn-McCluskey's and Carnot algorithm works. If you don't, you can search sum of positive and such methods, and you can find how you can calculate based on this. Short answer, you look at the columns. For 0, 0, 1, the thing that is matter to separate from this, extract from this table, is all cases that end with 1. Okay, this ends with 1, these. The values that are shown by X are not don't care values. We don't care, as I've mentioned, we never reach 0, 1, 1, and we never reach 1, 1, 1. So we don't care about the possibilities in there. We just don't care. We can add them to this list. It doesn't matter. There, and as you can see, I highlighted some of them actually. The next thing you are going to do is to look at what values are changing. Take a look at this yellow square. From here to there, what is changing? The thing that is changing from the first to the second, the two first things are the same. The third has changed. Now the second has changed, and the first one never changed. So okay, for the yellow square, the first thing never changed. The first digit never changed. And for the column, everything changed. Every state has changed, so we exclude the states. What was the value of the first digit? It was 1. And yeah, you can just add a 1 to your sum of positives down here. But okay, so we write this thing here. I wanted to actually explain it a little bit more, but I don't think it's a good idea to do that right now. And okay, I won't explain it. But now you need to design a digital circuit from that. So let me bring my other app. Okay, I'm back, and don't look at up there, that's not important. So we have 4 inputs, and the reverse of that 4 inputs, we have these are not important, don't look at them. And then here is our circuit based on the results over here. So okay, the values that is not changing adds to the sum of positives. In this case, I guess it was 1. Yes. So, oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's not 1. It's 2, because the first value is A. A is not changing, and A for the upper table is 0. So we have a 0 for A, and this is the second value, the second digit, so this is B. B is 1, we don't need to reverse it, but A is 0, we need to reverse it. So we end up with the middle point here. It's 1 prime and 2. Okay. Sorry for the minor inconveniences. Okay, we are back here. And yeah, so for the yellow one, I don't know why it's red. Yeah, I got confused too by that. For the red one, we are getting this. We are going 3D actually. Consider A equal. Oh, I'm hungry in the game. I'm sorry. Where are you actually? Are you back there? Okay. Yeah, back to the. Oh, it's. Would you look at that? It's raining. It's a very heavy rain, but nevertheless, I hope some water gets accumulated there because. Yeah, I saw that. Because some water may get accumulated over there. Okay, okay. Back to the board. So we get for red, yeah, the yellow one is actually the red one in the final equation. And for each gate, you repeat the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's a Bohr machine or a milli machine. It will lead to the same thing. You consider for gate 001, you consider for the gate 010, and consider for the gate 100. And you derive to the same thing nevertheless. So, okay. And okay, so what do we have here? 1 and 2 prime. We mean the inverse of 2, the not 2. And 3 and 4. So we go here. And will you look at that? We have. Oh no. We have 1. We have the prime of 2. We have 3. And we have 4. And so on and so on. We just repeat this. This is for the 001. This is for the 010, and the last one is for the 0. Okay, but what if the states influence the next state? The only thing you need to do in such scenarios is to design a flip-flop. As I've mentioned, flip-flops are important for storing 1 bit. So you store the value for the current state here, and you feed the value to the machine itself again based on the thing we drive here in the sum of positives. For example, if we drive at a formula that has S0 in it, what do? We just feed the 001 to itself to calculate 001. Yeah. Or if we have S1, we feed the value of 010 to the upper machine, ORing all these states, and we derive at the same results again. It's a very cool thing to do, but fortunately in our case it's more like an NFA, non-deterministic finite automata. We designed a DFA, but the end result actually looks like an NFA. Why does it look like an NFA? Because the process of calculating 001, 00, and 010 are actually occurring in parallel. The machine up here is processing for this signal here, and it's independent from the result of the lower machines. So it actually is working like an NFA, which all of the machines are working in parallel. It's like we feed the machine a lambda, and let me just draw it. It's no use if I explain it and not draw it. So let me delete the previous states. So consider that we have a machine that is calculating the output for 001, 010, and 100. We don't know what are inside these machines, but we know the upper one is for calculating only the third gate. This is only for the second gate, and this is only for the first gate. So in a non-deterministic machine, we run all these processes in parallel. So we have lambda for each, meaning just do all the calculations and see what happens in each state. Of course, in automatas we have an accept state, we have alphabet, we have transition function, and so on. The only difference in finite states machine, as I understand it, is we don't have accept condition. It just loops on itself. And as you can see here, we don't want the machine to stop. So we need a bigger machine to reset this smaller machine if we were designing an NFA. And why haven't we actually used, so back to the first square, why did we use the alphabets A, B, C, D, and so on and so on? Why didn't we just use zeros and ones? Yeah, we are back to the square. Consider for our machine that we want to calculate a state, the acceptance instance, a state, which is accepting this. If we were going to use zeros and ones, yeah, we needed to use 4 states to just arrive at this, and this state itself is not our end result to know if you are going to open or close the door. It's just to read the states, and after that we need to decide if we like that state. The steps get exponentially higher, but with the other method we don't see. Okay, why didn't we use only A, B, C, and D? What is wrong with that? So consider the alphabet 0, 0, 0, all 0, all 4 digits 0, the first 3 digits 0, then 1, then the second digit, and then the third digit. As you can see, if you are going to arrive at this state, so you need to first get a 0, 0, 1, 0, or you get 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, and then if you're there you need to receive a 1, 0, 0, this, and then that. You're virtually designing an AND gate in finite states machine. So this is just doing the work of an AND gate, and we don't want that. We want to derive at AND and OR gates in our final Carnot table, not here. Yeah, this is an AND, because we are saying if we get this and then that, or we get that and then this. So this is an AND. The machine accepts the language of the form 0, of course, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, or 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. But we're combining these states, so the machine is finally accepting 0, 1, 1, 0. It's ANDing these two base, or ORing based on if you know C++ or not. But yeah, that's not what we want. And that's you design these circuits. I love this machine. And will you look at that, our crops just groaned. Is it raining again? Yeah, but it's not big rain. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something, or I don't know. I hope you liked it. I liked it. Have a good time and goodbye. See you next time.